Very good afternoon everyone. I really hope you all doing great and staying absolutely safe as well. उम्मीद करता हूँ आप सब बहुत शानदार होंगे. एक बार फिर से मैं आप सबका बहुत बहुत स्वागत करना चाहूँगा इस सेशन में. Would like to welcome you all to this session once again. Now, this very session is actually very much important because यहाँ पे हम लोग एक बहुत important concept को explore करेंगे. Prelims point of view से हम लोग proper तरीके से उस चीज़ को जानेंगे और समझेंगे. And I'll try to make sure कि आपको एक बढ़िया लेवल की जो क्लैरिटी है वो यहाँ पर हमेशा की तरह प्रोवाइड की जाए. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल प्लीज डू लेट मी नो इफ आई एम क्लियरली ऑडिबल एंड विजिबल टू यू गाइस. अगर मैं आप सबको क्लियरली सुनाई दे रहा हूँ और दिखाई दे रहा हूँ तो प्लीज डू लेट मी नो ऑल द पीपल आउट देयर सो दैट वी कैन हैव अ नाइस हेल्दी डिस्कशन ऑन दिस वेरी पॉइंट. आज हम लोग जो बात करने वाले हैं दैट इज ऑन द सिस्मिक वेव्स. बेसिकली अर्थक्वेक वेव्स ही होती है. सो अर्थक्वेक जो है, अर्थक्वेक से रिलेटेड कुछ वेव्स की बात करेंगे हम लोग. भूकंप जिसको हम बोलते हैं. We'll also be talking about the earthquake. You know, how do you measure an earthquake? Measurement of earthquake. How do we do? What all are the scales which we are deploying? We are going to be talking on them as well. Different aspects basically. So this is the reason why this class is going to be super amazing, because you are going to have a lot of exam oriented content in this session. You are going to be gaining all of that. Is that clear? So I am really hopeful that you are going to have good deal of understanding. You're going to have a great clarity on this very topic. So firstly, do let me know if I am clearly audible and visible to you guys. क्या सबको मैं clearly सुनाई दे रहा हूँ? If yes, please do let me know in the comment section. चलिए, sorted. Because see, let me very clear that such topics you will find in the books, but then at times there are minor things which you may be misinterpreting. कुछ हो सकता है ऐसी चीजें हो जो आप अच्छे से इंटरप्रेट ना कर पाओ बाई चांस. सो आई विल ट्राई टू मेक श्योर दैट आई एम मेकिंग इट एज एग्जाम ओरिएंटेड एज पॉसिबल. क्लियर? सो डू शेयर द सेशन विद योर फ्रेंड्स सो दैट दे मे आल्सो टेक फुल एडवांटेज ऑफ दिस. अपने मित्रों के साथ, फ्रेंड्स के साथ इस सेशन को शेयर करना ना भूलें, सो दैट दे शुड आल्सो बी इन अ पोजीशन टू हैव अ गुड लेवल ऑफ क्लैरिटी ऑन दिस वेरी आस्पेक्ट. हेलो अनुष्का, hello Mission Vadi, all the people out there. It's really, first of all, great to have you all in this session. And secondly, I can assure you that you are bound to learn immensely. So make sure you hit the like button so that it is added to your liked videos also. यहाँ पे like button जरूर press कर दें ताकि आपकी liked videos में जाके session add हो जाए. So you certainly can do that as well. चलो, I think we are all good to go. All set for the session everyone. शुरुआत करें एक wonderful session की. चलिए, perfect. So would like to start this very session, which is going to be super amazing. Okay, firstly tell me this thing, are you aware of this topic, that how important this topic is? Everyone, I am hopeful that you are aware of the nuances of the topic. आवाज आ रही है ना मेरी? ठीक है, my voice is clear. And what is the language of communication you prefer? Language of instruction. Hello Mr. Scottsy. We have got Pallavi, Shubhrat. Good afternoon Maheshwari. Chalo, it's great to have you all here. And the best part is that I have got a lot of regular students in the class who are attending the session on the regular basis. So first of all, be very clear about one thing, that you have to attend, Monday to Friday this session is at 12 p.m. 12 baje. 12 p.m. live this session is on this very channel. So that's why do subscribe to the channel of IAS Origin. Do subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on these important sessions. आप ये सेशंस कहीं मिस आउट ना कर दे, इसलिए चैनल को सब्सक्राइब जरूर से जरूर कर ले. Yeah, I'll certainly be keeping it bilingual. Don't worry about that. I'll try to keep it bilingual as well. So don't worry. Just make sure you stay till the end, and you will end up learning or revising a lot of important things. So do hit the like button so that ये आपकी वीडियो liked videos में जरूर ऐड हो जाए. Okay. चलिए, let's without further ado start this session. Everyone, ठीक है जी, सेशन को स्टार्ट करते हैं. First of all, be very clear about one aspect, that what in the first place is an earthquake. I think everybody knows this thing. Acha, what is the benefit of liking? That this video will go to your liked videos, and when this go to your liked videos, you can later on revise this. आप revise कर पाएंगे, because later on, otherwise it becomes very much difficult for you guys to search for that. कहाँ ढूंढोगे इसको? So ये थोड़ी सी issue होती है. So make sure you add it in your liked videos. Got it? Okay. So let's start this. First of all, you got to understand, whenever I call this point, earthquake, what in the first place is earthquake all about? What is an earthquake? This is a very interesting point. Okay. So I think you people are aware of this fact that whenever we talk about this earthquake, so earthquake is sudden shaking of the earth. You know this thing? Whenever I say earthquake, so this certainly comes to your mind that it is in a way shaking of the earth, sudden shaking of the earth you can call, due to sudden release of energy in the earth's crust. This is very much important point. Now let's not focus on the focus or epicenter as of now, but my point is that why in the first place are we observing that there is an earthquake? You know, why is earthquake happening? Just imagine you are standing here and inside the earth here we are seeing sudden release of energy. What is here? We are suddenly seeing a release of energy. Now this release of energy can be because of various reasons. You know, you can have plenty of reasons for the release of energy. It's not that only one reason would be there. There can be plenty of reasons. There can be a volcano which is erupting nearby. हो सकता है ज्वालामुखी कहीं फट रही हो सकता है there's a plate boundary, you know, tectonic plate is moving like that, or it is moving like that, or it's moving, you know, converging, diverging, or it is like this. So in every which manner, whenever we are seeing that, mainly tectonic plates are moving, or you can have a volcano eruption taking place, or even you can have a, you know, reservoir induced earthquake also. So what is the reservoir induced earthquake? That kahin pe dam bana hai. It's a heavy reservoir, it's a heavy dam. Because of that dam, what are we observing? Because of that particular dam, we are observing that there is, you know, a lot of water being stored. The dam is very much heavy. So suddenly that also release a sort of energy which leads to the earthquake. So there can be plenty of reasons for the earthquake to happen. But whenever the earthquake happens, we are observing a few things which is very much important. First thing is that you got to understand, whenever the energy is, you know, releasing over here, this point is known as focus. So focus is a point where the faulting has occurred, you know, the point of the release of energy is focus. So always remember this thing, that focus is also known as hypocenter. क्या बोलते हैं इसको? Hypocenter of earthquake. This is a very important point. So the question comes that what is a hypocenter? So people do get confused कि sir hypocenter तो पढ़ाया ही नहीं. So hypocenter of the earthquake is what? It is the focus only. Remember this thing. समझ आया कि नहीं आया? So hypocenter is the focus we have to understand. It is known as the focus only. Hypocenter. ठीक है? Now, having said that, what is epicenter? Now, this is focus. Exactly on the ground, there is a point known as epicenter. So, ये याद रखिएगा, the point on the earth's surface directly above the focus is known as epicenter. So, this is a simple aspect you got to understand, that inside the earth we have focus, on the earth we have epicenter. This is one simple aspect we need to be understanding. Epicenter and focus. समझ में आया कि नहीं आया सबको? Everybody is understanding this point, because a lot of students do get confused. So focus is hypocenter and epicenter is on the surface of the earth. This is very much important. So always whenever we talk about the news headlines, they talk about the epicenter of the earthquake, but they hardly talk about the focus of the earthquake. But focus of the earthquake is very much important. Why? Because shallow the earthquake, the more dangerous it is going to be. ये बात याद रखना. जितना earthquake shallow होगा, if it is not a deep earthquake, if it's a shallow earthquake, it is going to cause havoc. It is going to cause a lot of damage. But if it's a very deep earthquake, it is not going to cause that much of a damage. I hope you understand this point. समझ आ रहा है? So you have to look into this aspect, that if an earthquake is very much shallow, if it is not a very deep earthquake, then a shallow earthquake is deadly earthquake. But deep earthquakes are not deadly earthquakes. So this matters a lot. So ये याद रखना कि this distance will determine whether earthquake is less deadly or more deadly, because if closer the focus is to the epicenter, it is deadly. If focus is quite deep inside the earth, it is not that deadly. Is that clear or not, everyone? So see, matlab these are very basic aspects which I am trying to make sure you guys understand, and do hit the like button who have not liked the session yet, so that it is added to your liked videos. Everyone, make sure you are adding this particular video to your like video, so that later on you can watch this to revise as well. Okay, like zarur karte. So now I think basic nuances you have understood. Basic nuances of the earthquake you guys have gotten into, you guys have understood. What is focus, what is epicenter? This is such an important point that a lot of students get it wrong because they don't read it properly. Secondly, you got to understand focus is the hypocenter. So focus and hypocenter are the same. Thirdly, you got to understand that the shallow earthquakes are deadly, the deeper earthquakes are not that deadly. Clear? Fourthly, you got to understand one thing, bete, that whenever we talk about the earthquake, we are always going to talk about some waves which are erupting out of the earthquake, which are seismic waves. We'll talk about those types. Okay? But it is very much important that how do we measure earthquake? Earthquake has come. So intensity, magnitude, how do we measure? How do we get to know that earthquake is very much deadly, less deadly? How do we do that? That is again a very important point we need to look into. So let's talk about that. Measurement of the earthquake is very important thing. So remember, we have two types of scale. One is Richter scale. Which scale? Richter scale, which we see commonly used, Richter scale. And another one is Mercalli scale. Kaun sa scale? Mercalli scale. We'll talk about the difference, but first of all you got to understand that we have got two type of scale for measuring the earthquake. One is Richter and one is Mercalli. Easy. So whenever you have to measure the magnitude of the earthquake, we use a logarithmic scale. I'll show you how it looks like. That scale is known as Richter scale, measuring the magnitude of the earthquake. Similarly, whenever we have to measure the intensity of the earthquake, what are we going to do? We are going to be using the Mercalli scale. This is important. So what is more important over here is very much clear to you guys, that we have got Richter scale measuring the magnitude and Mercalli scale is measuring the intensity of the earthquake. So I'll show you, how do we differentiate. I'll show you that, there's a 1 to 12 scale. So it's a very open-ended scale. Okay, it's like this. So it can go on and on and on. But this is a closed scale, 1 to 12 we have to rate an earthquake based on the destruction it has caused, based on the impact it has caused. So ultimately, Mercalli scale mein what are we going to do? We are going to evaluate the impact of the extent of earthquake. हम क्या करेंगे? उसके impact को evaluate करेंगे, judge करेंगे, तब Mercalli scale हमारे पास आएगा. उसको हम देखते हैं क्या होता है. We'll talk about that. So firstly we'll talk about the Mercalli scale, then we'll talk about the Richter scale. So they are on the names of the people. Like Mercalli gave Mercalli scale and Richter gave Richter scale. Okay, so they are on the name of the people who have given that. Now anyways, what is more important is that we got to understand that how do we differentiate, in practical sense, how is it different? दोनों में क्या फर्क है? क्या difference है? That is something we have to look into. So make sure all the people who are watching session, if possible, they do share it with your friends so that they can also take advantage of this. Now I'll give you an example. This scale over here, it is the Mercalli scale. क्या है ये? Mercalli scale this is for measuring the earthquake. Now have a look if you can read that on the screens. Category 1 is instrumental, like it is not even felt, very feeble, very basic earthquake. Then we have just perceptible earthquake, felt by only few people, especially on the upper floor of the building. Then we have slight earthquake, category 3 earthquake, slight earthquake, it is felt by the people lying down, seated on the hard surface. Then we have category 4 perceptible, it is felt indoor by many people. Then we have rather strong earthquake, almost felt by everyone. Then we have category 6 earthquake, which is strong earthquake. Trees are swaying like this. Chandeliers at your home, जो झूमर लगा होता है वो हिलने लगता है. Bells are ringing and some falling objects are causing some damage. But we'll talk about that. See, seismograph basically is used to measure the magnitude. We'll talk about that, in a couple of minutes. We'll talk about that, Devika. Don't worry. Now, this is the Mercalli scale I'm explaining. Okay, then we have very strong earthquake. So walls and plasters are cracking. Then we have destructive earthquake, felt in moving vehicles, chimneys are collapsing, all this thing is happening. Then we have ruinous earthquake, some houses collapse, pipes are breaking. Then we have disastrous earthquake, so grounds are cracking, rail tracks are bending. Then we have very disastrous earthquake, few buildings are surviving, bridges are damaging. Then we have catastrophic earthquake leading to the total destruction. So, in the scale of 1 to 12, based on the impact evaluation, we are doing what? We are doing the rating of the earthquake. That is what Mercalli scale is. समझ आया कि नहीं आया? So ultimately you are looking at the impact and only then you are saying कि okay, we are basically going to evaluate it on the basis of that particular impact. That is how you look at this. समझ आ रहा है कि नहीं? So be very clear in this regards, how do we look at the earthquake? It's very much important from the Mercalli scale, and this is one simple aspect we need to be understanding. Chalo, clear hua itna? Now, I would like to tell you that, when you're measuring the earthquake, so Mercalli scale is absolutely clear, you're looking at the impact. It's certainly a crude scale, accuracy can be an issue over here. Now, I would like to talk about a very important point which I feel everybody should be aware of, everybody should be knowing. Seismograph, we talk about, and seismograph is actually something which you need to know when you're studying the earthquake. So, let's talk about seismograph, seismogram, what is the difference, all those things we have to talk. So, we have got seismograph, this thing. What is it? Seismograph. It's a device, and it's a very interesting device basically. So you got to understand, this is very much important point we need to understand. Okay. So what is the point? It is a device which is measuring and recording the vibrations. See, it is a device. Basically, it is a device. But this device does what? It will measure. Now, it is doing what? It is measuring plus recording. It measures plus record what? The vibrations caused by earthquake, caused by the earthquakes. Remember this thing. So when the earthquake comes, we have a proper device. It will measure and record the vibration caused by it. Okay? So mainly even explosion they can record, but mainly earthquake. So ultimately the record produced by seismograph is known as seismogram. So seismograph is a device. Based on this, seismograph produce what? Seismogram. Seismogram. On a paper it is like this. ऐसे करके होता है ना ये. This is the seismogram it basically produces. Point clear हुआ कि नहीं? So there is a suspended mass attached to this. That's how we see that. So how this device looks like? I'm just making a crude representation. ऐसे होगा, ठीक है? And there is a suspended mass like this, and here we have a roll, ठीक है? So it will keep on rotating, and here they will be making a like this. This is the kind of the device it is. Suspended mass device. Any doubts? Clear हो रहा है बेटे? देविका clear है everyone? So you should be in a position to understand these minor points. This will help you a lot. So seismograph, it's a device to measure seismic waves, and a seismogram is a record of those waves. So that paper ke upar seismogram is being produced by seismograph. So it is measuring what? It is measuring seismic waves. So always remember this thing, that the earthquake ki waves jo hain, they are known as what? These are the seismic waves. समझ आ रहा है? Seismic waves. So seismic waves are basically being recorded by this particular device. So I hope it's absolutely clear these terms. What is a seismograph? It's a device. It is producing a seismogram on paper and seismic waves are being studied. Seismic waves are earthquake waves. Is that clear or not? Very basic points these are, which we are trying to decode over here nicely. Nicely and precisely we have to be understanding these points, only then it's of some use to us. Nahi to class is futile. So I hope it's all making some sense to you guys, right? Having said that, now we talk about the Richter scale as well. We'll certainly be talking about the Richter scale, what is Richter scale in the first place and everything. We are certainly going to be talking of that as well. Chalo. So see, these are the kind of the question you'll find in the exam. So they'll try to check that whether you know what is seismogram. They can confuse you. So you should know, कि कौन सा एक device है, seismograph is a particular device. It is measuring the vibration caused by the earthquake, basically seismic waves, and it looks like this. So these are the things. Okay. Moving ahead. Now, I think we are very much clear about this thing. Mercalli scale is very much clear. Now we talk about the Richter scale. It's a very precise scale. Richter scale basically it's a graphical representation. Now, one thing which we have already talked about is that what is Richter scale measuring? It is measuring the magnitude of the earthquake. The magnitude of earthquake is being measured by this Richter scale. We know that. Magnitude. So it's a log scale, log scale. Now remember this thing. If it is of 5 Richter scale, it is like this. If it is of 6 Richter scale, it is like this. 7 wala is like this, 8 wala is like this, 9 wala is like this. So you can see, the intervals are more and more and more. So 5 to 6 Richter scale, it may not be such a difference. But 6 to 7, it is major difference. 7 to 8 is major difference. This is the point you got to understand. So ultimately, this scale is telling you about the magnitude of the earthquake. Very much important this is. A question comes in the exam that which scale measures the magnitude. You should know magnitude is measured by the Richter scale. Which scale measures the intensity? It is the Mercalli scale. So Mercalli scale measures intensity and Richter scale measures the magnitude. You have to be very clear. So I hope it's absolutely clear to you guys. So see, Mercalli scale mein you had a boundation. What was the boundation? The boundation was that 1 to 12 ke andar you have to rate it. Here as such it is not there, no. So you will measure up, it is more accurate measurement. It is very nice way to quantify earthquake. You can clear cut tell that this is the kind of the earthquake we are looking at. Is that understandable? So I am hopeful that you are finding this class interesting. Everybody is able to understand the nitty-gritties which are involved in the class, which is of immense importance. Hanji, thank you so much. See, see, that's why we put in so much hard work, so that you are able to understand the small nitty-gritties which are involved. Okay, now having said that, if you look at this world, you will see earthquakes scattered. But why it is so much important for us to understand this aspect? We have got various tectonic plates. I would like to talk about them, which is very much important. For example, we have got some major tectonic plates like this Indo-Australian tectonic plate. It's very much important, this one. African tectonic plate is important. Eurasian tectonic plate 3. North American plate 4. Then we have got South American tectonic plate. South American, this is important. And then we've got Antarctic plate. And then we've got Pacific plate as well. So these are some major tectonic plates, Pacific, North American, South American 3, 4 Antarctic, 5 African, 6 Eurasian and 7 Indo-Australian plate jo hai. This is again of immense importance. Thank you so much, Raju. So ultimately, what is the main idea? The main idea is that we have to understand that, when these tectonic plates, these are the major tectonic plates, then we have plenty of minor tectonic plates also. Some minor tectonic plates also will be there. And these minor tectonic plates, major tectonic plates, they interact with each other and you'll have a lot of earthquakes because of that. For example, have a look at this Himalayan region. So here Indian plate is meeting the Eurasian plate. Here you will see a lot of earthquakes. Getting it? Similarly, in the area of Japan, you see various tectonic plates. Philippines plate, Eurasian plate, Pacific plate, they are meeting. You'll see earthquake happening. So whenever you will see tectonic plates meeting, you are bound to see the zone where you have got plenty of earthquakes happening. Simple point है ये तो. So you are bound to see the earthquakes taking place whenever you are seeing the tectonic plates meeting with each other. This is one basic point you got to be understanding precisely. ये बात याद रखना, काफी important चीजें हैं, मतलब these are very much important points. समझ आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? सबको समझ आ रहा है बेटे? ठीक है. Because I'll be very clear about one thing, you know, if you don't understand in the class, you can certainly ask and ask and ask once again, you know, twice, thrice, you can ask. I really don't mind, but I would want that everybody who's attending the class, they should at least get some benefit of the class. ऐसे ना हो कि formality करके चले जाओ. That is not something I'm here for. So you have to learn something. ठीक है, that's important. Thank you Tanuj, thank you Kumar Chandan, Vinayak, everyone. चलो, I'm glad कि you guys are enjoying the class, which is important. So my point is that, you know, you have got plenty of the plates, and some are minor plates also. Which are the minor plates? Let's look at them as well. For example, you know, Caribbean plate is a minor plate, Cocos plate is a minor plate, Nazca plate is a minor plate, you know, Arabian plate is a small plate over here, Philippines plate is there, Scotia plate is there. So you will have plenty of small plates also. Some are not visible here. So 7 major are there, then there are various minor plates also. So you got to understand that these are the plates which are moving, and that's why we are seeing earthquakes. Anyways, so now you got to understand, we talk about the waves which are important. Just hold on. Whenever we talk about seismic waves, or basically earthquake waves we talk about, they are certainly very much important. Which waves are we talking about? Earthquake waves or seismic waves, that's one and the same thing. So you have to have this idea that seismic waves are very much important. Seismic waves are certainly important. So basically we have categorized them into 4 categories, which we need to look into precisely because they are certainly very much important. So ये आप याद रखना. Now we have got body waves, and then we have surface waves. ध्यान से सुनना. Seismic waves are categorized into body waves and surface waves. Body waves are of 2 types. One is P waves, one is S waves. P waves and S waves. Surface waves are again of 2 types. One is love wave, one is Rayleigh wave. Is that clear? One is love wave, one is Rayleigh wave. So you are supposed to understand one aspect, that P waves and S waves are these types of body waves. Love wave and Rayleigh wave are the type of surface waves which we need to be understanding precisely. These are types of earthquake or seismic waves, one and same thing. That's a categorization you call. So now whenever the earthquake strikes, firstly what we see? We will see initially release of P waves and S waves. And when they interact with the surface, we will have surface waves coming up. So सबसे पहले कौन सी आई? P waves and S waves are the first one to be observed, which we need to understand. You know, P waves are the fastest, you know, then we have S waves, then we have surface waves. So I hope this idea is clear, you know, what is body wave, what is surface wave, you are absolutely clear about that. So remember, when I talk about the body waves are of 2 types. P waves यानी कि primary waves, यानी कि P waves, secondary waves यानी कि S waves. This is a simple aspect we have to be understanding precisely. P waves and S waves. आया समझ में? I am hopeful that you are able to understand this aspect. Everyone should be in a position to have a basic understanding over here. ठीक है जी? Now remember this thing, when I talk about the primary waves, you please make a note of it. Primary waves and secondary waves, they are certainly different than each other, you know, if you compare. So this is something which is very much important. So whenever we talk about the primary waves and secondary waves, they are totally different. Why are they different? Can anybody tell me क्या difference है? When we talk about the primary and secondary waves, how do we differentiate between them? बताओ. Shabash. Think about it. It's a very basic point we need to look into. P waves and S waves. Remember that secondary waves can pass through only solids, but primary wave can pass through solid, liquid, gas. So basically through all mediums they are able to pass. So that is the reason whenever you see, मान लो, just imagine here earthquake is coming. So in this massive region you will see no P waves. So basically no S waves are there, but P waves are received. Can you see that? Because P waves are able to pass through solid as well as liquids, but secondary waves are passing through only solid, and that is the reason why we are able to make out that what is inside the earth, how inside of the earth looks like. ये बहुत important चीज है. I will try to make sure I bring that in a more clear clarity to you guys. First of all, understand that an earthquake will generate what? Seismic waves that propagate throughout the earth's interior. Earth's core is mapped by observing the characteristics of seismic waves that reach the earth. So remember, this is epicenter, and ultimately what is happening? You are looking at one thing, black are the P wave and red are the S waves. So because here we have got this liquid area, outer core is liquid. So through outer core only P waves are passing, S waves are not passing. Can you understand this? Here you can see these are only the P waves which are received here. S waves are not received here. So this tells us that how exactly we have got inside of the earth, whatever is liquid and whatever is solid. This is something we understand precisely. समझ आ रहा है? So be very clear about this thing, that whenever an earthquake strikes, we have got this particular region where we have got no direct S waves coming. Getting it? So ultimately this is a shadow zone. This is known as a shadow zone, which we need to be very clear about. This is known as a shadow zone. आ रहा है समझ के नहीं? मतलब these are very simple and straightforward things we are talking about. So anyways, you also need to know about the propagation. Like, for example, whenever I talk about, P waves and S waves, remember how they move like. Can you see that? When we talk about these waves, this is quite interesting. So these are P waves and these are S waves. So how do they propagate? Can you see that? Is that visible to you guys? So if you see P waves, they are moving like this, like the sound waves, compression and dilation, compression and dilation. They're moving like this. But the S waves, they are moving like this. So basically, these are like the sine waves. So the particle movement is perpendicular like this to the wave propagation, and here particle movement is parallel to the wave propagation. I hope it's clear. So whenever we are talking of the P waves and S waves, you have to be very clear that how do you compare, P waves versus S waves is a very important thing. So we have to understand that how do we see the propagation also is very much of prime importance. It's certainly important that how do you compare both, because I'm not saying it will be definitely coming to the exam, but you are supposed to be aware of this fact that how do we compare. समझ आया कि नहीं आया? So P waves are very much fast waves, and P waves vibrate in the direction of the propagation. Okay, so you can see the vibration is in the direction of the propagation. It's like the sound waves. But S waves we are seeing perpendicular to the direction of the propagation. Can you see that? So here we are seeing this is the vibration like, and here what are we looking at? This is the vibration like. So if the wave is moving like this, they are also vibrating like this only. If the wave is moving like this, the vibration is perpendicular to that. I hope it's absolutely clear. बेटे समझ आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? मतलब I hope you guys are able to look and understand how do we compare both of them? P waves is traveling through solid liquid gas. So P wave can pass through solid, liquid and gas medium as well. However, S waves can pass through only solids. Only solids. This is a very important thing. Now you know the propagation and now you know the characteristics as well. How do you compare both? And these are what? These are body waves. Body waves. So body waves are of two types. One is P waves and one is S waves. आया समझ में कि नहीं आया बता दो. Body waves we are talking about. So which waves are the fastest? They are the P waves which are the fastest. So ये याद रखना, P waves are the fastest of all. मतलब these are very minor things but they can be asked to the exam in the exam, right? ये question आपको directly पूछे जा सकते हैं. चलो. So thank you Tanuj, thank you Kumar. So I hope you guys are making some sense out of it. You know, these are very important points which we are supposed to know precisely, you know, before going to the examination hall. You should be aware of that. So P wave, S waves are clear. Similarly, if you talk about the Love wave and Rayleigh wave, which are what? They are the surface waves. They are the surface waves. So you just need to understand the propagation like. So Love wave mein propagation is like this. It's very deadly. And Rayleigh wave mein propagation is like this. You know, rolling is happening like this. You can see rolling of the particle. So they are not sine waves. So you can see a lot of damage is happening. Love wave and Rayleigh wave. So these are the surface waves. So once the P and S waves come into the contact of the surface, you will see Love wave and Rayleigh wave coming up. This is quite important. So now I hope you are able to observe this thing, which is certainly very much important. And see, again, what is more important is that, you know, we are supposed to have a basic clarity in our mind, and that's the only thing which is going to be helping us precisely. Is that visible? So you can have a look. I'm not able to zoom properly, but anyways, so these are Love wave, Rayleigh wave, these are P and S waves. You can have a look, you know, expansion and compressions are happening when the wave is moving like this. Here we are seeing the sine wave is moving like this. Here the Love wave is moving like, you know, these directions, and Rayleigh wave is rolling motion. So ye body waves and surface waves. I hope you are absolutely clear. So, you know, this is very much important point you got to understand about the seismogram, primary wave, secondary wave, tectonic plates. These are some important aspects, you know, epicenter, focus, which you need to know when you're studying about the earthquakes. तभी तो clear होगा, नहीं तो earthquake as a topic जो है वो clear ही नहीं हो पाएगा. ये point है. So we are supposed to have a basic level of understanding which I have given you in this very class. ठीक है जी. So thank you first of all so very much who all have attended this very class, because I hope this 40 minutes class have been quite rewarding for you. That's what I hope. Make sure you share the session with your friends and do you know, hit the like button if you found it useful. In the description you can find a link to the master class which you can attend on the Sundays. Sunday को आप master class को जरूर attend करें, which you can find the link in the description, and I'm sure that it will be of much benefit. So you can register. It's absolutely free of cost. So do come and do. Okay. Maheshwari, what to explain, bete? I've asked again and again. Nobody spoke at that time. So now that we are done with the class, you can watch this class again and you will realize, you know, what it is all about. But in Love wave and Rayleigh wave, okay, I'll certainly explain. Just hold on. See, Love wave and Rayleigh wave, you just see the propagation like. What is the propagation? See. So propagation is like this. The particles, they are moving in this direction. Please have a look. You know, like this, they are moving. So it's very much deadly, Love wave. And Rayleigh wave, you can see the rolling motion is happening. Everything is being rolled. Got it, Maheshwari? I hope it's clear. So that's how it, and Love wave and Rayleigh wave are what? Surface waves. They are the surface waves, and these are the body waves, simply. Body waves. So body waves and surfaces, there are two different kind of waves we have talked about. That's it. That's you need to know. Okay. Just watch this class again and you will be gaining a lot out of it. Okay. So thank you so very much. It was great having this session. And make sure you are hitting the like button if you like the session, to add it and you like videos. Do subscribe to the channel so that you can get more such sessions. And tomorrow we'll meet again. Let me tell you, tomorrow at 12 p.m. live, do join me sharp, and we'll be doing volcanoes. Okay. So volcanoes ka topic jo hai, the type of the volcanoes, everything will be covering in tomorrow's class at 12 p.m. live, like we did today. So I hope it's fine with you. Thank you so very much. Have a great day, everyone. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.